Hey guys, it's January the 30th, 2025, and I hope everybody's been having a wonderful day so far today. I just want to start off today's video really quick and just say that I saw that Sober Strong has tried to reach out to me in the comments. I saw the subscriber Marcus like 2 or 3 weeks ago sent me a message and said that you were trying to get in touch with me, but I never saw anything from you. I haven't been on my Instagram or my Facebook in quite some time. I just logged on to my Instagram today. If anybody's trying to get in touch with me, that's going to be the best place to do it. I just went in there and kind of cleared all my messages. I had hundreds of messages in there. And I would say 98% of it was all spam, and the kind of spam that I'm not even going to discuss on here. It's the reason I haven't been on there in a while. I started getting like overwhelmed with spam from people sending me things, and I don't think it has anything to do with anybody on YouTube or anything like that. I think it's just the people that find your account on Instagram and they send you like just disgusting stuff. And I went on there one day and saw that, and I just haven't been back on there since. And like I said, my inbox got completely overwhelmed. But I did go through there just a little bit ago and kind of like deleted everything out, and so I can start over from scratch. So if you have sent me a message and I didn't get back with you, just resend the message to me, because I just went there and cleared everything out. So just resend me whatever it is. There are so many messages that were in there, and so many messages. I just got afraid to click on any of them because I'm not even gonna get into it. There's just stuff on there I'm not willing to even click on, look at anything. Just evil stuff, and just not for me. And it's the reason that I'm not on social media in my personal life. I don't deal with that kind of stuff. I'm not on there. The only reason I have it for here is so that I can communicate with people, so I can post up pictures for people to see and stuff like that. And it's been a while since I've been active on there. And once again, I apologize if you've tried to reach out. I'm not ignoring anybody. There was a time I was very active on those accounts. It's just it got completely overwhelmed. My Facebook, at one point, I went on there and I had like 4,000 friend requests. And it was impossible for me to go through and like say, okay, this is a real person, this isn't a real person. So I just went through and just started just hitting friend requests. I spent like a Saturday one day just accepting friend requests, and I did it like all day long. And unfortunately, I got a lot of spam accounts. I started getting all these messages. My inbox got completely blown up. So I think I'm going to try to start from scratch. I might honestly, guys, create a new Facebook account and just start over. And if I do, I'll repost that link. If we are friends on Facebook, then you can send me another friend request, and and like I said, so I can just start over, because I got completely overwhelmed with spam. I'm not that worried about my Instagram account, but my Facebook account's just, I think it's done. I think the only option I really have at this point is just start over with a new account. But I'll let you guys know. It's not going to happen today. I've got a lot of stuff to do after this video, but I'll keep you guys posted this week and let you know if I do create a new account, so that y'all can send me another friend request, and we can start back over again. But now that's out of the way, and I've spent 4 minutes talking about that. What I wanted to talk about today is dealing with withdrawal. And the reason for that is that one of the subscribers, or I don't know if they're a subscriber or not, but somebody in the comments said that they're having a hard time this week. I guess they're going back and trying to get sober again, and they're having a really hard time with it. It said they're basically dealing with a really hard time with this, and I get it. I've done many videos on this, and also, if you are, a subscriber, even if you're not a subscriber, and you've got a video idea that you'd like to post up, just throw it in the comments for me. And I love doing videos for people, especially people that are struggling with something and they have something specific they'd like me to talk about. I'm more than happy to do so. I love doing it. It gives me a break from having to come up with an idea. So just leave your video ideas in the comments section, and like I said, I'd love to do it. Just leave it there. But once again, today we're going to talk about dealing with withdrawal. And, withdrawal, cravings, all this stuff, it's super tough. It's really one of the hardest things about this, especially right in the beginning. Getting over that initial hump, it's not easy. Oh my gosh, now my insulin pump's gonna start beeping. But like I said, dealing with the cravings and the withdrawal, it's horrible. And it's one of those things, one of the reasons I talk about this, daily, about not going back, because when we listen to that little person on our shoulder who's telling us, you can just have that one drink, you can have that one beer or that glass of wine on your Friday night, and the next thing you know, you fall right back into that pattern, right back into that cycle again. And when you decide that you're ready to get back sober again, you have to start all over and deal with all of that stuff all over again. And it sucks. It really does. And it's one of the reasons why a lot of us, when we do fall back and fall off the wagon, it can take some time to get back on again, because the withdrawals can make life pretty difficult to live through. So let's talk about how to get by with the withdrawals in the best fashion that you can. And the thing is, what I'm going to be talking about today is it's going to put a Band-Aid on it. It's going to make it a little bit easier to deal with, but there's no magic button for dealing with withdrawal and cravings. It's just, it's part of it. It's uncomfortable. And it's one of those things, like I said, I can give you some pointers to make it a little bit softer, but it's still not going to be fun. No matter how you slice it and dice it, it's not fun. And once again, it's one of the reasons I say, talk about this every single day, that not falling back, because going through this again can be almost impossible. I mean, it really is. It can make your life so uncomfortable. So, what can we do to make our withdrawal or cravings that first week or two after we decide to quit? What can we do to make it a little bit easier? Well, one thing that I think that helps out tremendously is watching movies or a good TV show or something like that. Finding something that's really going to help occupy your mind. And there can be times, I know this from experience. You're sitting there watching a television and you can't pay attention to anything that's going on it, because your mind is just being pulled this way and that way. All you keep thinking about is that you just want to have a drink and it's going to make all this go away. You're trying to watch the television and, you're seeing the images on there, but your mind is moving 1,000 miles a minute and all this stuff is going through your head. But it does help to a certain extent. And if you can get yourself comfortable enough, find something interesting enough that's going to grab your attention, it can just help get through that day. And the biggest thing about this and dealing with withdrawals and cravings is getting through each initial day. I just think that's the most important part about this, because it really is. It's day by day. It's living each day and just making it through. If you can get through that 24 hours, well, then you wake up the next morning and just do it again. And don't think about the big picture. Don't think about, I've got 5 more days of withdrawal, or I've got 4 more days of withdrawal, whatever. I'm just going to make it through today. Just tell yourself, for today. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't think about next Friday. Don't think about that big event that you've got coming up. And I know I talk about this all the time, about that big event. And it doesn't have to necessarily be some huge, big wedding or something like that. But it's something where you know that you have to go do something where usually you would drink in order to relieve that anxiety of whatever it is. And a lot of the times it's when we get around big groups of people, or at least for me and a lot of other people I've spoken to. So when we get around those big groups of people, we start getting a little bit of social anxiety. And most of us, or a lot of us, use alcohol to lessen that social anxiety that we get when we get around large groups of people. And a large group of people doesn't have to necessarily be 100, 200, 1,000 people. It could be 10 people. when we're going through the withdrawal stage, 10 people can seem like a million people. And we get that social anxiety. But don't think about that. Don't think about, man, in 1 month I've got this meeting for work, and how am I going to get through it without having a cocktail? Let that day happen when it comes. Cross that bridge when you get there. Just think about today. And I think that's one of the most important parts about this, is not thinking too far into the future. If it doesn't have to do with the 24-hour cycle that you're in right now, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It really is irrelevant. The most important thing to you right now is right now, today. I'm not going to drink right now. And especially in the beginning, I think that it's very important for us to not even necessarily even thinking about the next 24 hours. Think about it in day parts. I'm going to make it to lunch and not drink, or I'm going to make it to 10 o'clock this morning and I'm not going to drink. Let's say you're going to do day parts. You're going to say, I'm just going to make it to lunch. You make it to whatever lunchtime is for you. You don't drink, and then you tell yourself, I'm not going to drink until I'm not going to drink through dinner time or whatever. And then you make it all the way through dinner time, and you say, well, I'm just not going to drink tonight before I go to sleep. You don't do that. You wake up and you do the same exact thing the next day, and you just break your day down. Sometimes we have to do it by the minute, by the hour, however it works for you. Just don't think too far into the future. All you got to do is just make it through today. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, and the sun comes up again tomorrow morning. When it comes up, you start your day back over again, and you just make it through that day. And I know in the beginning, it can be almost impossible to sleep. You're tossing and turning all night. Your body temperature starts to fluctuate all over the place. 1 minute you're hot, the next minute you're cold. You've got cold sweats going on. You're soaking your bed sheets, all that kind of stuff. Sleeping is almost impossible at some points. And I get that. And it can really make just getting through the day difficult. But that's what I'm going to be talking about today, is some things that can help get your mind off of it. And that's another thing, too. I think it's one of the most important parts about this, is getting your mind off of that and just redirecting your focus onto something else. Instead of thinking about, man, I wish I could have a drink. Man, I wish I could have that pill. Or, man, I wish I could have some food, or whatever it is. If you can distract your attention onto something else and just get through the day, because that this period is only going to last but for so long, and it's different for everybody. And there's no way for me to say that your cravings and withdrawal are going to last for 5 days or 2 weeks or whatever. It all depends on your body makeup and all kinds of different things. But for the most part, the withdrawal period lasts for, let's say a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And then you're dealing with, and that's the physical withdrawals. And then you get into, after about 2 weeks or so, and it's all mental after that. But the physical withdrawal stage is really the most difficult part, because you feel so uncomfortable. And just getting through each day, I think, is the most important, and distracting yourself in ways. Another thing, too, is the first off is just acknowledging the fact that you're dealing with this right now. Accept it. Embrace it. Sit in it. Know what's going on. Why am I feeling this way? Why does my head hurt? Why did I not sleep well last night? Why do I feel like I'm about to throw up? Why does my stomach hurt right now? Why do I have diarrhea right now? It's because your body has gotten so adjusted to having whatever the substance is in there all the time that when you remove it abruptly, your body goes into basically shock, and it doesn't understand what's going on. It needs that to be able to function in a normal manner. And like I said, when you remove that away, your body just goes into panic mode. But eventually it will calm down. And it just takes a little bit of time. And the thing is that if you can just make it through this short period, the feeling of accomplishment that you're going to have after you're done, that you were able to withstand that amount of feeling uncomfortable, it's such an amazing feeling. It really is. And like I was talking about yesterday, it shows you how strong of a human being you really, really are. And it's something that nobody can really help you with. And I guess there are some ways that people can help you. You know, you can go to a rehab facility or something like that, and they can help you feel more comfortable through it. But at the end of the day, it's something that we still have to deal with internally and by ourselves. And getting through those hard times and breaking through on the other side, when you get through and you're on the other side of this, the feeling that you have, like, it just proves you how strong, how powerful that you really are as a human being. I talked about this, but distracting yourself, you know, finding ways to distract yourself. I think that is just so important. Here's another one, is going for a walk. Is something that I think is probably one of the most essential things that we can do in our sobriety, especially in the beginning. Because for one, you're not going to feel like doing a whole lot. You're going to feel tired. You're not going to have a lot of energy. And if you were like me, when I drank, man, my energy went through the roof. Drinking alcohol was like drinking an energy drink for me. I was one of those people that alcohol is a depressant, but it didn't work like that for me. Alcohol was a stimulant for me. Alcohol allowed me to get up and move. I started drinking, and I just started doing all kinds of stuff until I got to that point, to that plateau, and then I would fall right off the deep end after that, you know, and pass out and go to sleep. But getting up and just going for a walk, especially in the beginning, because like I said, you're not going to feel like going to the gym and doing a big hard workout and all this kind of stuff, because you're going to be tired. Like I said, your body is in panic mode. It's missing that chemical that is so used to having. But walking is one of those things that we really can get up and do. And when you get up and you go for a walk, you get your blood pumping, you get out in the sunlight, you're getting your vitamin D. And vitamin D is such an essential vitamin. And I listen to so many podcasts and things, and they're always talking about how Americans especially are so vitamin D deficient and how it causes so many other problems because we're vitamin D deficient. And I think just getting out in the sun for just a few minutes a day at least can make you feel so much better. And when you get outside, you're getting that fresh air, you're stretching your legs, you're getting your body moving. It just makes you feel better, you know, especially if you pop in some earbuds and you're listening to a good audiobook or a nice podcast or something, and you got your mind focused on that, and you're just going through the motions of walking. Walk as long as you possibly can, and do it a couple times a day. You know, go for a walk in the morning, maybe go for a walk at lunch, and go for a walk at night. Because I think it just helps. Because one of the things that, especially that I dealt with more than anything, and I've spoken to so many people on here that dealt with the same thing as me, is the RLS, or restless leg syndrome, at nighttime. Anytime I went through withdrawal, I mean, my legs were like kicking like this in the bed. I just could not get my legs to stop moving, and they hurt so bad. I had to rub Bengay on my legs at night. And now looking back too, I didn't realize I had neuropathy going on. But at the same time, getting up and just going for a walk, it just really helps to alleviate some of that RLS. It helps you to go to sleep at night because you've wore yourself out. And that's another thing, is that there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights. And if you're getting up and exercising, like going for a nice long walk a couple times a day, you're going to wear yourself out. And if there is anything that can help you along through this process, is trying to get some good sleep. Because your body needs rest through this period of time. And if you can give your body a chance to rest because you actually got rid of some energy during the day and wore yourself out, and you sleep, you know, if you can get 6 hours of sleep in a night through the withdrawal period, you're doing awesome. And if you can get that in, it's just going to help make you feel so much better throughout the day. And not to mention, too, is that we can start getting a little bit cuckoo through that withdrawal period. I know I did, because, one, the lack of sleep, it starts making me a little bit crazy. I mean, really, seriously, I start getting a little bit crazy when I start losing my sleep. And it just messes with everything. I just think it's really important. Another thing too is, get yourself, like, when you start having like that feeling like you want to have a drink or something like that, find something that you enjoy that you can fill that gap in with. And one of the things I talk about all the time is like sparkling waters. I think they work great, especially if you're a beer drinker. Have a couple of those sparkling waters on ice. And I think this is really important. If you get yourself a little cooler, throw a couple of those sparkling sodas in there and just keep that with you wherever you go throughout the day. If you have to go to work, keep that cooler in your car. If you have to go run up to the store for the day, grab that cooler and keep it in your car, or just keep it wherever you're going. And if you get that feeling like, man, I wish I could have a beer right now, get one of those cans of carbonated water and slam it. I'm not kidding. You can barely tell the difference. If you drink it fast enough, it kind of tastes like beer. And then you get that burn on the back of your throat from the carbonation. You get that, I'm not trying to sound gross or immature here, but you guys know what I'm talking about. When you're drinking beer, you get that big long burp after you've drank it. It just really does kind of fill that gap and makes you feel like you might have just had a beer or something. And it fills your stomach up. And, when you have a full stomach, you're not going to be thinking about drinking too much. I just think it really helps fill that gap. And, or, other than the carbonated soda, maybe find yourself a nice herbal tea to drink, a coffee that you like to drink. Treat yourself through this period of time. Find something that you really enjoy that can help fill that gap while you're getting through this process. And I think as well, that when we find something, like for me, it was coffee. And I am absolutely in love with coffee now. And I'm gonna be 100% real with you guys right now. I drink more coffee than I should. It's just I'm just being clear. I'm addicted to coffee. I'm being 100% real with you guys. I drink far more coffee than I should, really. But I think that the trade-off is that, yeah, I probably drink more caffeine than I should. And I drink decaffeinated coffee as well. I probably drink more than I should, and I probably get more caffeine than I should. But at the same time, it's a heck of a lot better than resorting to drinking a 12-pack of beer or having any kind of an alcoholic beverage or something. And at some point, I'm going to try to cut that back as well. But just everything's a process. I'm still a work in process. Just because I got sober, doesn't mean that I've got everything figured out. Like I said, I've still got vices. One of my vices is coffee. And at some point, I'm going to cut that back as well and try to live a healthier lifestyle. But for the time being, I'm going to enjoy my coffee right now. It is like the one thing that I have. And I look so forward. I'm telling you guys, this is not a joke. When I go to lay down at night to go to bed, I get super excited about going to bed at night so that I can go to sleep, because I can't wait for that first cup of coffee in the morning. I'm laying there in the bed about to go to sleep, and I'm like, I can't wait to wake up, because that first cup of coffee when I get up in the morning is the best cup of coffee of the day. Yeah, it just really is. Or find yourself a nice tea or something like that. Mint tea, that helps really, a lot with like nausea. And there's no caffeine or anything like that in mint tea. As long as you get just the herbal mint tea, it's just the herb mint. You make yourself a nice cup of that. And another thing too, if any of you guys out there have just a tinge of green on your thumb, growing mint at home is so easy. You could put a pot in a windowsill and keep it there, and as long as you give mint water, it's going to flourish. And mint is one of those herbs that's invasive too. If you plant mint in your yard somewhere, it's going to grow like wildfire. You'll have more mint than you'll ever know what to do with it. And that's what I have here. I've got mint everywhere. I planted it in the ground because I don't care. I like mint that much. My grandmother, when I was a kid, had mint growing in her yard. It brings back childhood memories of smelling the mint when you walked outside. My grandmother used to make sun tea, so she'd put this big glass jar on the front porch with fresh mint and tea bags and lemons and all kinds of stuff, and she'd sit it in the sun all day long. It just brings back childhood memories for me, so I don't mind the mint going crazy out here. Because I use a lot of it. But anyway, I'm gonna get off that topic. Find yourself a nice podcast or audiobook. YouTube. If you sign up for YouTube Premium, I think it's like $20 a month. You can have your phone closed out. Like, you can have your screen locked and you can listen to any YouTube video. I have YouTube Premium just for that reason, because I listen to a lot of shows. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I am always listening to something. Always. I always have something playing in the background, unless I'm, speaking with my kids or my wife or something like that. But if there's nobody around and I'm just walking around doing something, doing some chores around the house or whatever, I'm listening to something, because I want to constantly learn throughout my day. And I think that by getting, finding some good podcasts to listen to or some good audiobooks or whatever, not only are you filling your time in, you're distracting yourself, but you can learn things, especially if you find, like a nonfiction podcast where they're talking about history or something like that, or whatever it is that you're into. You could be learning something throughout your day. And, while you're washing the dishes, why not listen to something educational and learn something new? And you don't have to listen to anything educational. It could be entertainment. Whatever it is that's going to fill your time in and help distract you away from thinking about whatever your vice is, I think it's great. Read a book. That's another great one. Find yourself a really good book, and take some time out of your day to sit down and read. Reading really helps distract you, because you do have to focus on the book line by line. You're thinking about the characters in the book, and you're imagining the situation that they're in and what kind of car that they're driving, and whatever it is, it just really, your mind is moving as you're thinking what's going on in the book. You're picturing this all in your head. It really helps pull you out of reality and into that book, and just takes your mind off of stuff. I think it's a great thing to do. A hobby. And I've spoken about this so many times. At this point, hundreds of times on here. I cannot vouch for something more than a hobby in sobriety. I think it is so important to have whatever it is that interests you. Find something to do. And it doesn't have to be an expensive hobby. It can be cheap. You could get a pocket knife and a stick and sit down and start whittling. You can start carving little figures. You could get a deck of cards out and start playing solitaire. You could get some cheap paint and a piece of paper and start painting pictures or drawing pictures or making bead necklaces or tattooing, planting plants, playing with a garden, cooking, whatever it is. Find something you're interested in and pour yourself into it. It's, like I said, it's such an important thing to do, because the feeling of accomplishment that you get, especially if you're doing something really creative with your hobby, when you go from point A to a blank sheet of paper or a blank canvas of whatever it is, and then when you look at your finished project, the finished project after you're done, and you see what you've accomplished, it just makes you feel great. And once again, it's distracted you. Because all we're trying to do is just make it through today, these 24 hours. Tomorrow's another day. Let's just get through right now. And having a hobby, I think, is probably one of the most important things that you can do in sobriety. And another thing too is that after you get through that initial withdrawal period or withdrawal stage, it just gives you something to do. It gives you something to look forward to. Instead of looking forward to, I can't wait, is it 5 o'clock yet or 4 o'clock yet or whatever, because I can't wait to get out of here to get that drink. Instead of thinking like that, you're thinking, man, I can't wait to get home and, mess around with my electronics project that I have, or building my computer at home, or whatever it is. And that's what you're excited about. And you might be putting some money into this hobby, but you're getting something out of it. You can see something tangible that's right there in front of you, opposed to a whole bunch of empty cans that are in your trash can, or empty beer bottles. And as you roll that trash can down the street and it's clanking around, like I spoke about like 2 weeks ago, when I lived in that neighborhood, I think they picked up our trash on Wednesdays. Every Wednesday morning, you heard everybody wheeling their trash can down to the street. All you heard was clank, 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 clank as they rolled their trash can down, because of all the bottles that were in there jingling around in there. It's craziness. Here's a big one. And I think this is a super, super helpful one. But sorry, guys, my eyes are like super itchy today, is taking a hot bath. Man, they help. If you start, especially at nighttime, you start getting that RLS, your legs are sore, they're hurting really bad. And that's something I dealt with all the time, was just like leg pain when I was in withdrawal. You get in that hot bath, it's going to help alleviate all that stuff. It's going to soothe your muscles. It's going to soothe your mind. And I'm not being like, please don't take what I'm saying the wrong way. And I'm not trying to be funny here, but, have a couple candles lit around your bathtub, turn down the lights in there, making a very relaxing environment when you go in there. Pour some Epsom salt in the water. Those minerals and the magnesium and everything can help calm you down. It soaks in through your skin. And it's, you get one of those bags of Epsom salt, and it's, got lavender scent or whatever in there, or sandalwood or whatever. That aromatherapy from that too can help bring you down, especially lavender. It just helps calm you down. The magnesium soaks in your skin, helps calm you down. It calms down those muscles. It soothes those aching legs. And, just sit in a nice hot bathtub for as long as you can handle it. Now, don't be dangerous with it and sit in your bathtub, that's super duper hot for 3 hours. I'm not saying that, but, have it at a nice, comfortable temperature and just soak in there and, give your body a chance to relax. And that nice hot bath, especially before bed, has been scientifically proven to help you go to sleep. Getting your body temperature up, and then your body temperature comes back down really quick after you get in that nice hot bath, and it helps to get you to sleep. I just think it's a great option, especially at nighttime. And like I said, all we're trying to do is get through these 24 hours each day, especially in the beginning. And, just getting in a hot bath right before bed helps you go to sleep. The night's over with, and you're waking up the next morning, and you've made it through a whole nother day. And I think it's just a great thing to do. Call somebody close to you. You start getting that feeling. Sometimes we just need to talk and get it off of our chest. Not holding those emotions in. And speaking with someone, especially somebody that's really close to you, somebody that knows the journey that you're on right now. You give them a call and say, look, I'm really struggling right now and I don't know what to do. And they can really help just talk you off that cliff. Sometimes we just keep edging ourselves closer and closer and closer. And all we need is just somebody on the other line to say, it's going to be okay. Just don't do it. You have 2 more hours left in a day. Just go to bed and wake up tomorrow and give me a call in the morning or whatever. And just having that support can really be helpful. I just talked about this, but watching a good movie or a TV show, I don't know why I had this written down twice, but finding especially a TV show like The Walking Dead or something like that. I don't know how many seasons there are. My wife and I got really into The Walking Dead. I think we stopped watching it like season 9 because it was just like every season they would build this huge town and get it all secured. And then by the end of the season, next thing you know, the zombies knocked down the wall, broke in, and they were off again to another place. And I finally went, okay, it's the same thing every season. I can't watch this anymore. But man, I enjoyed those 9 seasons. And we watched it every day. And, Just finding a good TV show like that, especially one that you really, really enjoy, you can just binge watch it, especially like on a weekend. All your friends are out hanging out and doing all kinds of stuff, and you're trying to stay home and stay sober. You find a good TV show, you can plop yourself down on your couch or lay in your bed and just watch TV all day long. And here's something else I want to talk about real quick while I'm thinking about. There is absolutely nothing wrong with laying in the bed or laying on your couch or laying in your recliner or whatever it is, or laying in a hammock or whatever you want to do. Don't worry about it. It's okay to be lazy while you're trying to get through the withdrawal period. Don't sit there, because that's the kind of person I am. When I'm just laying around, I'm like, I should be up doing something right now. Like, I feel like such a lazy person. Why am I not up? And I'll start like psyching myself up, and the next thing you know, before you know it, I'm outside doing something. Take it easy. Don't worry about it. You're doing something so positive for yourself. This is not a comfortable time. And another thing too is that if you're trying to get sober, and it's one of those things where you have some vacation time at work, I would highly suggest, if you can, try to get sober when you're taking some time off of work, because you can just chill at your house. It's going to make it so much easier to get through that when you don't have to get up and go to work every single day. And, after a week, you should be pretty solid to be able to go back to work and get through a day, a work day, because those withdrawals will be kind of starting to ease off towards the end of that. Finding a nice non-alcoholic drink that you might enjoy, especially like on a Friday or Saturday night. One I like to make is just soda water with a little bit of cranberry juice and a twist of lime on the rocks. It looks like an alcoholic drink. It tastes great, and it's refreshing, and it just kind of helps fill that gap for you. Whatever it might be for you, find something cool to drink. Maybe throw a little bit of garnish on there, make it feel and look like something that you might enjoy, especially if you have to go somewhere where there's going to be people, and especially if you have to go somewhere where there's going to be people drinking. Get yourself something on the rocks, a soda water or a Sprite on the rocks. Throw a lime on the rim of the glass and a stir straw in there. No one's going to bother you. No one's going to think you're not drinking. Don't say anything to anybody. Keep it to yourself and drink that, and no one's going to know anything. And you're not going to have people bothering you like, come on, man, you want to have a drink. We're having a good time. Have a drink. Because that does happen. And if I was you, especially in the beginning, I would do what I can to avoid those types of situations. Stay away from alcohol or whatever your vice is the best that you can. Don't go to that party on Friday night, especially if there's going to be people there doing whatever it is. Why put yourself in that situation? You're just going to torture yourself. Just stay away from it. I think it's just the best way to do it. It's just stay as far away from it as you possibly can. And I know sometimes it's just impossible. You have to go to certain things. And if you do, just try your best to avoid it. And like I said, find yourself a nice non-alcoholic drink and kind of fake it. Just walk around. That way nobody's going to try to pressure you into drinking either. Go straight home after work. Just go straight home. Don't stop for anything. Don't stop to get this or get that, especially at the gas station. Just stay away. And if you have to stop and get gas, pull up to the pump, pay with your card, and then leave. Don't walk in that gas station. There's a huge cooler in there with all of the alcohol on display, and it's just going to be like flashing lights at you saying, drink me, drink me, drink me. Just stay out of there. If you have to go to the grocery store, stay away from the alcohol aisle. There's nothing on that aisle you really need anyway, and if there is, get it from another store. Just stay off the alcohol aisle. It's just like, it's like wrapping a bunch of like raw chicken breast all around your body and then jumping into an alligator pond and hoping that you don't get bit. I mean, it's just stay away from it. Remove all the reminders of your vice out of your life. Jiggers, mixers, koozies, all the small stuff that you don't really think about. Just get it out of there. if you've got a bunch of shot glasses in your kitchen on display, it's just a constant reminder of that you used to drink out of those. Why have those out there? Just get all that stuff and put it somewhere out of sight, out of mind. Another one too is, maybe seek some professional help. Maybe try to find a therapist or a counselor or somebody to talk to. Because sometimes we have a lot of stuff that we're trying to deal with and process through all this. And sometimes we really do need somebody to talk to, especially if you're drinking because you had a lot of trauma in your childhood or a lot of trauma that's happened to you recently, and you just started drinking or using something as a way to get rid of those feelings. Because we often try to numb ourselves. We're trying to numb those emotions because we just don't want to feel them. And that's why we use. And I just think it's good sometimes to be able to talk with someone, especially someone that's like outside of our clique, our group, our family. Things that you can talk, because, if you're speaking with somebody that you're really close to, you might not want to divulge those details of the things that are really bothering you because you don't want to be judged, or you just don't want those people knowing. Sometimes when you speak to a counselor or something, they can't go back and repeat anything you say, and you'll feel a little bit more comfortable, exposing some of those things that you've been trying to push down in your life. And that's another thing too, is, trying to discover what it is. Why are you drinking? Why are you using? What's the reason behind it? Really digging deep down inside and discovering why. Because if you can figure out why, you can really start to work towards getting over what that reason is. Let's say the reason that you're using is because you've been having a lot of problems in your relationship with your spouse, but you haven't really figured that out yet. And you think about it long and hard, and you go, this is probably why I'm drinking the way I am. My husband and I fight all the time. He's abusive or whatever. If you can discover what that is, then you might be able to start working towards fixing whatever that problem is, if it's fixable. But I just think that self-discovery of figuring out why that we use or drink is a really big step towards staying and remaining sober. And it's one of those things. It took me a very, very long time to discover that. I had to put in a lot of hard work to figure those things out. And, when I first got sober, there was a lot of time I was spending alone by myself. And that alone time that I had allowed me to really dig down deep and start to think about things in my life, the whys and stuff like that. And I had to do a lot of personal work. It's taken me a lot of time to get to where I am right now. But the one thing that I can say is that this isn't easy. But the one thing that I do know is I believe in each and every single one of you out there. I really, truly do. I've said this so many times on here, but if I can get sober, I know that anybody can. I thought I was hopeless. I didn't think there was any way to get out of it. I just didn't. I tried so many times and never got anywhere with it. I might get a week or two or something like that, but 2 weeks is about the longest that I ever got. I mean, it truly was. And then I always went back to that way of thinking that, I can have a drink. I can have just one. I've got this under control now. And I was fooling myself every single time. And then as soon as I had that one drink, I was right back in it again. Speaking of that, and I don't know why this popped up in my head, and I just had a short little list right there. There's so many more things, but I'm already at 45 minutes, so I don't want to go too deep in this. And I can do another video about this another time. But like I said, I was really trying just to give this person some ideas on ways to make this a little bit more comfortable. But another thing too, and I think I just spoke about this the other day, in the beginning of your sobriety, don't worry too much about trying to be healthy on all fronts. Don't try to fix everything all at once, because you're going to overwhelm yourself. I think that in the beginning, when you're getting sober or doing whatever it is, you're trying to remove this habit that you have. Don't deny yourself some of the other simple pleasures in life. If you want to eat a big greasy cheeseburger, go for it. If you want to sit down and eat a whole pint of ice cream, go for it. If you've had 6 cup of coffees and you're ready for a 7th today, just go for it. Have what you like. You're not using or drinking or doing that and being destructive to your body. Now, I'm not saying that eating a cheeseburger is super healthy, but if you're not doing it every single day for the next 10 years, it's okay to have a cheeseburger. It's okay to go get a pizza. It's okay to go grab a bag of chips. These are the things that are going to help you get through this tough period. Enjoy the things that you love and let them help ease you through this process. And then after you've gotten a little bit more comfortable in your sobriety, then start working on that stuff. Choose the chicken breast opposed to the hamburger or the pizza. Have a salad instead of eating a hot dog or whatever. Make those smart decisions a little bit later on, but enjoy those simple pleasures right now, because they're really going to help you through this process. Another thing too, I think that's really important, and I spoke about this in the beginning of the video, is I would try my best to avoid social media for a little bit, and Facebook, Instagram, and that kind of stuff, or X, or any of that kind of stuff, because there's just a lot of going back and forth and stuff on there. People are always arguing with each other or whatever, and if your friend group isn't doing that, maybe this doesn't apply to you, but if you get on any, like, we have a local page just for the town that we live in, and people are constantly arguing on there. And the thing that's sad about it is when they created that page, it was a really great resource to be able to go on there and, find, let's say you're looking for a mobile mechanic or something, or, a landscaper. It was a way to connect with businesses in town. It was just a really good way to connect with people and communicate with people around town and find out about things, events that are happening in town and all that kind of stuff. It's just a great resource. But what ended up happening with it is that it all of a sudden became this place for people just to go on there and complain, and a place for people to beat each other up on. And I had to stop getting on there. In the beginning, I really enjoyed it. I'd go on there and look for something to do that weekend and see, okay, we got this little food show this weekend. Well, I'm going to take my family to that. Then it became, every time I got on there, it's like people screaming at each other because, people are pulling up to the diesel pump when they're not driving a diesel truck, and that, they should leave every single diesel pump at the gas station free for the diesel trucks. And then people are starting to argue, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't be on here anymore. But I would just avoid that kind of stuff. Anything that's going to get you excited or upset or anything like that, just stay away from it for a little bit. And I'm not saying stay away from it forever. And you're free to do whatever you want to do. I'm just giving advice here. But I would just stay off of social media for a little bit. Don't get on things that are going to, get you worked up. Because when we start getting angry and upset, and you're already going to be on edge already, it's just, when we're upset like that or angry, often we'll go, you know what, I'm through with this, I'm going to have a drink. And, we're not thinking rationally, we're upset, we're angry. And we'll just make poor decisions sometimes with, emotionally. We'll make those emotional decisions, and it's not the right one. So I just think it's a good thing just for a little while to stay away from that kind of stuff. I think it's just a good thing basically just to go to work and come home. Just stay at home for a little bit. I'm not saying that you have to do it for the rest of your life. You're eventually going to be able to get back up and start doing things again. But I would just hang out at the house, go to work, come home, have dinner, watch a movie, talk on the phone with your family or whatever, or hang out with your kids, or hang out with your wife or your husband, or whatever it is that you like to do at your house. Take a nice bath. Get up the next morning. You're going to be having a hard time. You are going to be having a hard time sleeping, especially in the beginning. You're going to be tired. You're going to be cranky. I think just staying home, at least for the first week or so, it's important, and you're not putting yourself out there. You're not going out. And don't go to the bar. I know it sounds simple, and like common sense, but just don't go to the bar. Don't go to restaurants where they're serving alcohol. Just stay away. Anywhere that serves alcohol or there's a lot of whatever it is that you enjoy doing, stay away from those environments. It's like jumping into a pit of snakes and hoping that you don't get bit. It's just not a good idea to do it. And like I said, I know it sounds like common sense, but I just feel like I needed to say it. But other than that, guys, I think that's about it for today. And like I said, and if you guys have any more ideas, and there's a whole bunch more stuff I could have talked about today, but I'm already almost at an hour right now. But if you guys have any good ideas to help through the withdrawal process, please put them in the comment section, especially for this individual that I said I was going to do this video for today. Something for, and for other people that watch this video. They can scroll through the comment section and see what ideas that you guys have that might help alleviate their withdrawal symptoms, and just make it just a little bit easier for them. I'd love to hear what you guys have. And also, before I get off of here, thank you so much for all the kind comments in yesterday's video. I really do appreciate it. Everybody was so nice with that. The inspiration for yesterday's video just kind of popped in my head. And like I said, I had made another video that I just wasn't happy with and decided not to go with that, and then changed my mind. And it seemed like people really enjoyed the video I did yesterday. I'm glad I decided not to do the other one, because it just wasn't as good as the other one that I did. And I don't know. It's one of those things. I was talking about going with that gut feeling. I went with my gut and said, this video is not going to work. This isn't the kind of stuff I like to put up. It just didn't feel. It didn't have the heart behind it that I felt that it needed. And when I got that inspiration to do the other video and I changed my mind, I just went with my gut, and I feel like I did the right thing. And the same thing applies with going into sobriety. Just go with your gut. If your gut's telling you, hey, don't go to this place. Somebody gives you a call and says, hey, why don't you come over on Saturday night? And you get that gut feeling that goes, probably not a good idea to go over there. You know what happens when you hang out with this person or whatever. Or you just get that gut feeling, something's telling you, don't go. Don't do it. It's like, I remember, and I'm going to do this real quick and I'm going to get off of here. When I was a kid, I don't remember how old I was. I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, somewhere around there. And we were living in North Carolina. We had a really bad ice storm. Really, really bad ice storm. And we didn't have power at the house, and we didn't have very many groceries in the refrigerator, and my mom needed to go get some groceries for us, and there was ice all over the road, and I begged and pleaded with my mom not to go, and I said, well, let me go with you. And my mom said, no, you're not going with me, I don't want you being in the car, it's dangerous, so blah, 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 blah. Well, my mom left. And I just had this feeling like something was going to go wrong. I don't know why, but that whole day I kept feeling like something was wrong. I kept pacing back and forth. And this is back before cell phones, this is back in the 80s. And I just remember pacing back and forth around the house, and we hadn't heard from my mom. She hadn't gotten home yet, and it had been quite a while. And I just had this gut feeling that something bad had happened. And like I said, I begged and pleaded with my mom not to leave, because I just had a bad feeling about it. And she decided to go anyway. Well, way later that afternoon, my mom finally came home. I think somebody brought her home. I just remember her walking in the house, and she had been in a car accident. She had gotten to the grocery store, bought her groceries, and was actually leaving to head home, and was sitting in the parking lot of the grocery store, which had ice all over it. And it wasn't even her fault. Somebody behind her ran into the back of her, because she was sitting at the exit of the grocery store about to pull out onto the main road, and there was a stoplight right there, and somebody hit the back of her car. It was a Toyota Corolla. It was a 1987 Toyota Corolla. And hit the back of my mom's car and pushed her out into the middle of the intersection. And then it caused this huge accident. And my mom got hurt pretty bad, and it was a big deal. And I just remember I had that feeling all day, like something was going to go wrong. And my gut feeling was right. And I think that just really applies to life in general, is that when you get that feeling, go with the gut. And whatever that is to you, whether it's just a gut feeling or it's God or whatever, and I try to stay as neutral as I can on here. There were a lot of people in the comments saying, that's God and this and that. And I'm not going to say my opinion on it because like I said, I just want to stay neutral. But whatever it is to you, listen to that, because there really is something behind it. And I can't tell you how many times that I've gone against that feeling and it didn't turn out right. The situation didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. And I just think that going with that feeling is the best way to go, because it's usually the right one. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I really do appreciate it. And I hope everybody's having a really, really good day today. I really do. If you're watching this right now, we are all so blessed to be here and have another day on this planet. We all truly are. And getting sober is just, it will absolutely change your life in so many good ways. Stick it out, hang in there, stay strong. It's so worth it. It really is. It really, really is worth the amount of feeling uncomfortable that you're going to go through. And in the end, the payoff, it's like winning the lottery. It truly is. So, guys, with that said, I am out of here. And until tomorrow, I will see y'all then. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you guys so much. I really, really do. Bye-bye.